said a lot about the things that we've been able to do this year. I won't reiterate them in detail, but I will say that on the one hand, particularly when you look at the Senate side, it's been an enormous challenge, even though we are the majority, because we were 51 to 49 majority up until last week. Tim Johnson was out, ill, so we were a 50 to 49 majority. And then on these very important foreign policy issues, Senator Lieberman consistently votes with the other side, so on these issues, we were always starting off as a 49 to 50 minority. But we did have the committees, we do have the committees, we've been able to push the issues to the forefront in a way that hasn't been done in a long time. And we've had some really good successes, and Bobby Scott was mentioned in a number of them, but we did early on, for the first time in 10 years, succeed in increasing the minimum wage. And I think that's important for all workers around. And as Bobby mentioned, we passed a children's health insurance program that can't believe the president was actually threatened to veto, but we've got it through and we're going to fight for it. We've passed good legislation with respect to higher education for more young people. We've done ethics reform in a measure that Senator Harry Reid says is the most sweeping ethics reform in a generation. And we are attempting to redirect the national security policies of this country, not just with Iraq, but to resolve the situation in Iraq, to allow us to focus on our strategic interests around the world that have been neglected over the last 6 years, and also to truly focus on the issues of international terrorism. So we are doing good, and we are going to continue to fight the fight here. And this is a long-term process, as all of you who have so much experience in it fully understand. A lot of politics is a yard at a time, a foot at a time. You know, I'll go home some nights and I'll say, you know, did we push that ball down the field just a few yards every day, and then it adds up. And we're going to look forward to further successes on the Senate side. We're going to talk about Virginia in a minute, but on the House and the Senate side coming up next year, and hopefully we will be led by a new chief executive at the end of next year who will have a better understanding of where the country needs to go. Here in Virginia, this fall, we have our own unique opportunity to start pushing that momentum onto the nation. We can change the face of Virginia politics, and we can send a signal to the rest of the country about the reformation and the expansion of the Democratic Party. I've been going to as many political events as I am able to, given the schedule of the Senate. I've been going to different fundraisers, and I've seen candidates this time around from varying backgrounds that I think point to the future strength of the Democratic Party right here in Virginia. For instance, I was at two today, one a former Navy captain, a career officer. Very important signal to send when the Democrats start putting up these kinds of candidates at a time when the military, the career military, over the period of about 25 years has gone so far over to the Republican Party in a way that, as someone who grew up in the military, we never would have even thought about 30 years ago. Getting those kind of candidates out there is important. I'm doing one tomorrow for an individual who used to have a high-ranking position on Senator Paul Tripple's staff, now running as a Democrat right here. Those, coupled with the base that the Democratic Party already has, speak very well for the future here in Virginia and for the country. And you know, when you look at the Democrats versus the Republicans in state government, it's not that hard to figure out. I mean, think about this. I mean, in terms of the governorships, just think about this. No offense to any individuals, but George Allen, Jim Gilmore, Mark Warner, Tim Kaine, take your pick. What this kind of leadership has done when Mark Warner and Tim Kaine have pulled back-to-back governorships, and Virginia is named the best managed state in America, the best state in which to conduct business. We've gotten away from the bitter partisanship of those earlier years. People are truly focused on trying to get things done. We've got billions of dollars invested in infrastructure here. The budget deficits of the Gilmore era were done away with. And most importantly right now, I think Tim Kaine has really grabbed a hold of one of the hardest issues, but he's doing his best to resolve it, and that's ending the benign neglect of Virginia's highway and transit systems. So, make no mistake, if Tim Kaine had a General Assembly that was under Democratic leadership, we could have a much, much better situation for all the people in Virginia. The leadership that has been coming out of Virginia has gained the attention of the entire country. If we are able to bring about the transformation in the leadership in the General Assembly this year, the entire country will take notice of that, and it will carry forward in the momentum of next year as well. I do believe that can happen. And just as a party thought, if you think where we were, and Bobby mentioned it, no one thought a year ago that we could take the House and the Senate in the United States Congress. Just remember, 55 to 45, that's what the makeup was in the United States Senate 1 year ago today, 55 to 45. It happened. It happened because people got energized, because people cared about the issues, they went out and did the hard work. We can do it again. I'm pledging to you that I will do my part. I'm leaving tomorrow to go down to Southwest Virginia to try to do more down there as well. And if everyone here will make a pledge to work as hard as we can, just for the next 2 months, I think we can pull off an upset that will have the entire country watching and playing this game.